Trust Tuesdays. Time to chat with our friends, the Better Business Bureau of Oklahoma City, and the lady herself, President and CEO Kit Letcher. Great to see you.
Good morning. Good to see you too.
Good morning to you. It's a busy day, busy morning here on this, of course, Tuesday morning in downtown Oklahoma City. Lots of people, lots of buses, lots of foot traffic. I was next door at Cafe 7. I was like, hey, how did this affect your business, your small business here? And they're like, quite a bit, actually. There's a lot of people in this morning.
It's a good thing.
But you got Rockstar parking right out front.
Right? You like that?
That's very, very well played.
I just keep circling until I get it.
So you're just stalking a
Right. I stalk the spot I want.
Two things, stalking an open space and a convenient space,
It's called
right?
persistence.
Persistence.
Yeah.
Well, that may pay off as one of the traits we'll get into here on Trust Tuesdays. You know, there's a lot of, I don't know, conventions and businesses that are opening, conventions that coming to Oklahoma City, businesses that are opening up in Oklahoma City, and that's our topic. This month on Trust Tuesdays is some tips that you might want to consider if you are opening a business. So Kit, let's assume that I want to open up a Cafe 7. We'll call it Cafe 6.5. I mean, I don't know. I want to steal their
Cafe
thunder.
Dave.
Cafe Dave is going to open up. That's a great name. Hashtag Cafe Dave. Should I decide on a specific menu? Do I want to be coffee and breakfast, or should I just say, nope, I'm open for business. I'm making everything.
I'm doing all of it.
Burgers, hot dogs, pizzas. What do you think?
Yeah, 24 hours a day. Come to Cafe Dave.
24-hour day.
Get whatever you need. We do it all.
Yes.
Probably not your best bet.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't go down that road.
Okay.
And I think, you know, what's great about these tips, we talk about them for new business owners, but they really are good to keep in mind as you are growing your business, or if you've even been in business for 10, 15, 20 years. They're tips that we look at. We've been in business for over 100 years. So they're things that are still current for us as we're starting new programs. So not really being everything to everybody. You only have so many hours a day. You only have so much money in the bank. And really being able to pare down what you're doing, get your niche focus, and make sure that you are doing it really well, so that when people come to Cafe Dave, they say, oh, I come here for the coffee. It's amazing. He does the best coffee in Oklahoma City, or whatever it is that you become well known for, and then build out from there. But whatever you're going to do it well, and don't try and spread yourself too thin.
Determine what your core competency is, and then stay focused on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And just realize that you are one person if you're starting this business by yourself. So because you can only do so many things, you have to be really focused and prioritizing what is the one thing that's going to put me out of business if I don't do this well. Where can I lose the most amount of money if I don't focus on this one item? And whether it's your menu or the hours that you're open, you know, we see a lot of businesses in downtown Oklahoma City that aren't open on Monday mornings. And so they have been very strategic in making that decision. And for them, that's a good business decision. Maybe they are open on Saturday and Sunday because we have more people that are coming through on conventions that are here on the weekends.
And after a Sunday fun day, Monday doesn't sound like a good idea.
It's not a good idea for coffee. No.
Not for everybody. No.
I mean, when I show up from, you know, Monday morning work, I like a cup of coffee, but, you know, for some people, that's not the best idea.
To stay with the cafe idea, in a real world situation, I was over at Someplace Else off of Western and 23rd last week, and I remember going there in college a couple decades ago. And it's one of those places that still is busy just to give them some pub here, still busy for lunch every day, but they didn't expand into 24 locations. They're still doing what they do, doing
and
very
they didn't
well.
even expand the size of their establishment. You know, it's hard to find parking. It's really busy. There's typically a line out the door, but you know when you go in there what you're going to get, and that you're going there for a very specific reason. Their sandwiches are great. Their cookies are amazing.
Yeah, this is true.
I mean, you're going to have a good experience, and so you're willing to put up with those other things.
We're recording this at a little bit after 9 in the morning on this Tuesday, and I, for one, am hungry for lunch.
You ready? You just had a cup of coffee.
And we're just the first bullet point in, but the second one would be, Kit, Cafe Dave, I think this is going to be a great idea. I just don't know how to pull this off, and I don't really believe in myself here.
Right, because it's a brand new venture. You're trying something new, and maybe you're really good at the financial aspect of it and making the coffee, but you don't know how to do the marketing part of it, or the sales part of it, or growing your staff and your team, or doing the HR part of it. There's a lot of different hats that a business owner has to wear, and so you've got to become fairly well versed in those various areas, but knowing who to rely on and who you can trust to help you in those areas so you can delegate out the right things. You know, confidence is key, and realizing that's not my strong suit, but I can trust this person to do it. so I can be confident in these other areas, because that's probably a skill set you'll end up learning, and giving yourself kind of the latitude to be able to learn that and realize I don't have to be an expert in it today, but in a year I'll probably be a lot better at it than I am today.
But what if I have this obsessive compulsive behavior and decide, hey, I brought in this accountant who's really good, or the marketer who's really good, I want to learn their job, and I don't need them anymore. In other words, trying to just
do it all.
Do it all.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, at some point you'll probably be able to do it all. You will be better at some things than you are others, which is okay. But realizing, you know, maybe you're not the best financial person. And so having it, after you try to do it, and realizing you're going to know more than you did from day one, but that's not in your wheelhouse, and that's really not where you need to spend your time or your money.
Not necessarily your expertise, but you have brought in the experts to handle that, put people in places where they can succeed, and the whole business sort of succeeds.
Yeah.
A couple points to get through here as we talk about some things to consider if you are getting into the world of business, perhaps opening your Cafe Dave. And I mentioned putting people in places where they can succeed, which is kind of our fourth point here of you want people to be happy and successful in their jobs.
Right.
To where they're not afraid that, hey, I may screw up here.
Right. You know, I was listening to a podcast the other day, and it did a really good job of talking about giving people the latitude to fail, and knowing that if you're growing a business, you're going to take risks. And whenever you hire people, giving them a spectrum of, I expect you to take risks also, and you're going to have failures. And I'm okay with that, as long as it's only, you know, 20% failure, not 50% failure, 70%
Don't
failure.
sink the whole ship.
But realizing that people are going to fail, and that's not because they're not trying, it's because maybe they're not an expert in that area yet, or you're growing at a pace that they're not necessarily established in. And so if you say, you know, I expect out of 10 ideas, 3 of them probably aren't going to work, and that's okay, but I want you to keep generating ideas, because that's how we're going to grow and get better, and giving them the ability to work within those boundaries, whatever your risk level is comfortable with. So if you're comfortable with 1 failure a year, then that person needs to know that, and clearly communicating that will be really important.
Those are good points there, making sure that they understand exactly where that level is.
Right.
So they're not walking on eggshells the whole time thinking, well, I've had my 1 screw up of the year.
I'm out.
Can't afford.
I better look for another job, because I might make another failure and that person can't handle it.
But chances are, if you're in a growth area, as you mentioned, there is some risk that has to happen there. And so you have to keep trying.
Yeah, you do, absolutely. And especially if you want that business to grow. Maybe you're putting new things on the menu. Maybe you're trying new programs. Maybe you're trying out some new hours. Maybe that person, you know, has been doing development or reading some new things that they think would be really good for your business, and they will be in the end, but getting to that finite stage of what actually works for you is going to take some risk, and it's going to take some failure to get there.
That 1 flash fire on the grill, it's not a deal breaker. It happens.
Those things really do happen, unfortunately.
So when you have your business up and running and things are going great,
change is inevitable. It's going to happen. Yeah, you're going to see change. And we experience that in our business every single day. We see new businesses that come on board. We see businesses that say they're going out of business, and it changes our financial aspects. It changes our model. It changes
technology
who we're talking
changes
to.
on it?
Absolutely. Our staffing skills change. All of those variables play a role in how we are successful as a business. And whether that's day 1 or, you know, 50 years into it. And so being okay with change and realizing it's going to happen, and while we were successful in 2017, 2018 may bring some new surprises. Maybe it's construction happening in front of your building, or down the street from you that stops the flow of traffic, or maybe there's not as many conventions happening in town. All of those things will play a factor, and just being aware of what's going on around you, but what's happening within your own economy.
Interesting. Within a year or 2, Cafe Dave, it could be a roaring success right here in the urban core. Or not.
Or not.
Or not.
Or not, no.
You can find more information on their website, bbb.org/Oklahoma City. They are a resource you can count on for any number of things.
Yeah, and one of the reasons we really started doing things like this is so much of what we do is about making businesses better. It's not about just calling out scams and doing awareness. That's a core part of our business. but helping businesses owners really look for the future and realize what they can do and what can help them, develop and grow their business in a way that they're comfortable with, but also taking those risks and realizing other people are facing the same things and they're not alone in that endeavor.
They've been through it. They have some experiences they can share, and you can help share that conversation, facilitate the conversation and the knowledge. She's Kit Letcher, President and CEO of the Better Business Bureau of Central Oklahoma. I believe I said that correctly. I wanted to say Greater Oklahoma for some reason. Always good to see you, Kit.
Thanks, Dave. You too.
Thank you so much for the information.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cafe Dave has a chance because of you. Thank you.
I hope your coffee's good.
Me too. More Trust Tuesdays can be found on newsok.com. We, as you might mention, might think, tape every month. I'll wrap this up as I'm rambling now. And of course, more information on their website, bbb.org/Oklahoma City.